Hey everybody, welcome to Get Busy Watching. I'm your host Honest Dan, and welcome to my third rapid fire return. Let's get started. Alicia Cuthbert's daughter goes missing in their super spooky cellar and thinks supernatural crap is responsible. Come on Hollywood, if we can admit that we did Megan Fox dirty, there's room for Alicia. It sucks though. The only thing I liked was Alicia. She's clearly acting her ass off, which could not have been easy to do since the material given is copied and pasted from every other subpar horror movie like this. Aside from her, it's garbage. The writing is bland, and coupled with seemingly non-existent directing, the actors have little chemistry with each other. It's not the least bit scary, cliches up the dick hole, a wildly inconsistent plot, and an ending that leaves you a hollow shell of your former self. What's sad is that the pieces of a good story are there. It makes you think that maybe ghosts with a tragic past may be involved. But the curveball it throws lands with a resounding thud, and it doesn't do anything special with it. Alicia needs a comeback movie, man. Can we get a tongue-in-cheek movie in the style of Till Death, but starring her and Megan Fox? Please? Because seeing Alicia in something like this just hurts my heart. My honest rating for The Cellar, a week 3 out of 5. Alexander Skarsgård is on a revenge trip to kill his uncle because his uncle murdered his father, Ethan Hawke, and took his mom, Nicole Kidman, as his queen. Oh man, this deserves its own review. This is definitely one of my favorite films of the year. What I love about Robert Eggers is how he blends a grounded story with folklore and mythology. He can say what he wants about the witch. I think all of his films are different, downright needed in Hollywood, and offer something far more visceral. Skarsgård, of course, absolutely slays it, both literally and metaphorically. Anya Taylor-Joy will always be Bae. Kidman seriously delivers one of her most intense performances in years, and the more fantastical visuals are the perfect mix of haunting and gorgeous. The only real negative I have is some of the action scenes look like they're rehearsal takes, clear choreography, and are pretty noticeable. Oh, and no, the Valkyrie isn't wearing braces. Vikings used to chip at their teeth and add resin, creating a tattoo effect. Vikings were metal long before metal was a thing. It's a fantastic film. Brutal as hell, but fucking awesome. Highly recommended. My honest rating for The Northman, a 5 out of 5.
Remember the oath to right the wrong. Remember the Raven King.
A group of famous thieves are caught stealing, but attempt to lie about learning how to be good. However, the lie turns out to have more truth when one of them likes the feeling of being good. I know I should probably hate post-Illumination buyout of DreamWorks, but I kinda liked it. It's cute! There's nothing here that can't be predicted. If you can guess the plot, you can guess the ending. But the way it's packaged is endearing to me. The voice acting from Sam Rockwell in particular charmed the crap out of me and got more than a few decent laughs. The animation is quick, expressive, energized, and the slapstick is highly entertaining. The plot itself doesn't have many surprises, but more than makes up for it with some clever moments that put a big ol' smile on my face. My only gripe lies with the main villain. The villain's plan only takes center stage toward the later half of the story and feels pretty rushed together. And yeah, the fart jokes get done to death. Yeah, it's pretty fun, and if I enjoyed myself as an adult, I can only imagine that kids will love it too. I recommend it. My honest rating for The Bad Guys, a strong 4 out of 5.
You know, the one good thing about this place?
What?
We never have to wait for a table.
Isn't that every place?
Hey man, how you been? I haven't seen you. Snake attack!
Actor Nicolas Cage is invited to visit the private home of an arms dealer for the sole purpose of thinking about a movie to make together. It's no Prisoners of the Ghostland or Willy's Wonderland, but it's still pretty freaking fun. It's about time that Nick Cage played himself in 2 roles no less, and somehow successfully balances his wild and nutty roles into something that's still pretty nutty, but grounded. His chemistry with Pedro Pascal is amazing, and their one acid trip scene was so funny it had me in stitches. The throwbacks to his movies, the way he gets into them, is nothing short of endearingly narcissistic. My only issue? The studio said no to a scene where Nick fights his imaginary egotistical self. Oh sure, in a film of lunacy, that's taking it too far. If you're a Nick Cage fan, you're in for a treat. Wild, zany, pure cagey nonsense, and it's amazing. My honest rating for The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, a 5 out of 5.
You have to drive on acid. You are a better driver than me.
How do you know that?
Because I read that you did all of your own driving stunts and gone in 60 seconds.
Oh, that's true.
Set in a dystopic, flooded Tokyo that is enclosed by a giant bubble, a young competitive parkour athlete meets a mysterious girl who saves him from drowning, and a blossoming romance begins. Oh my god, I'm so happy I saw this. This was awesome! The animation is phenomenal, from the breathtaking still shots letting the emotions sink in, to the high-octane action that's as visceral as anything that can be done in real life. The colors are gorgeous and vibrant. The characters are simple but endearing. The budding romance between Uda and Hibiki is way too cute, and the music, as sung by Japanese singer Riria, is nothing short of beautiful. The only true downside to the film is the story, in that it's wildly inconsistent. It's trying to be a romance film, but then 2/3 of the way in, it's suddenly putting the flooding problem in Tokyo front and center when this wasn't properly built up. Despite its flaws, this is a modern-day fairy tale that I can actually kind of get behind. Hey, since Disney's been taking the piss with their movies lately, I'll take Japan any day. My honest rating for Bubble, a strong 4 out of 5. Liam Neeson is an assassin who refuses to kill a young girl. When she's killed by another killer, FBI agent Guy Pearce gets involved. Neeson has a particular set of skills, and that's being in a schlocky film even for him. The biggest problem is that it feels like there's two movies playing out. Neeson trying to figure out who's trying to kill him, and Pearce trying to figure out who killed the girl. Neither protagonist's motivations or objectives align until much later. Follow either storyline and cut out the other, this could have had a better chance. Not to mention, the memory thing barely comes into play. The only positives, Neeson is still a badass. Pearce is giving it his all, and it's nice to see Monica Bellucci on screen again. Objectively speaking, it's not good. Subjectively speaking, it's not good. But Monica Bellucci in it kinda redeems it in a way. My honest rating for Memory, a weak 3 out of 5.
You're gonna call the contract off.
The fuck I am. You're an employee. I don't take fucking...
A body horror film from Finland. Tiina is a 12-year-old girl under stress from her mother who wants to portray her family as perfect online. This comes under threat when Tiina hatches a monster bird. Ah, Finland, you guys are doing some fucked up movies over there. And thank you. Creature features with practical effects are nigh impossible to come by these days. The creature effects as done by the renowned Gustav Hogan are top-notch and effectively make Ali a terrifying monster. And it never gets any less unsettling when it starts to take on the physical traits of Tiina. Speaking of which, young Siri Solalina is absolute dynamite. Adorable, vulnerable, completely sympathetic, but utterly intimidating later on in the story. Seeing as this is her first feature film debut, she is nothing short of impressive. Equally captivating is the performance of her on-screen mother, oh god, I'm gonna butcher this like a motherfucker, Sofia Heikkila, who is as uncomfortably whimsical as she is terrifying in her own way, and the two actresses bounce off of each other very well. I won't pretend to know what this film is going for, something about motherhood, becoming what you despise, creating what you fear, but it's a damn fun brain teaser. My only complaint is that it can be conveniently illogical at times, sacrificing practical character choices with symbolism, which took me out of it. To my understanding, this movie's been in limbo for 2 years thanks to COVID. Well, it's finally out, and I loved every minute of it. If you're a fan of body horror, I highly recommend you check this out. My honest rating for Hatching, a strong 4 out of 5. Charlie is a girl who can set things on fire with her mind. The evil organization that created her and her parents are after her and the rest of her superpowered family. I've not read the Stephen King book, nor have I seen the Drew Barrymore original film. So as a normie coming in hot, pun definitely intended, I don't know, I kinda liked it. I won't pretend that it's the best written. A lot of the setup is a result of piss-poor decisions by Charlie's parents who didn't teach her how to control her powers. Still, once the plot got underway and the resident superpowered Native American Terminator came into the picture, things get pretty damn cool. I enjoyed the weight given to Charlie's emotions when she loses control. I enjoy the acting from Zac Efron as well as young Ryan Kiera Armstrong, who can be pretty intense. Despite how it feels like a lot of the middle is rushed so we can get to the climax, I'd be lying if I said it wasn't worth the jump and had some seriously badass moments. This will be a controversial rating, but I liked it enough. My honest rating for Firestarter, a 4 out of 5.
I really didn't mean to.
I know you didn't. I know. This is what it costs, though.
Maggie Smith just found out that an old flame has died and left her his villa and sends her son to investigate. A Hollywood film crew shows up to make a movie at Downton and romance and drama ensue. Never saw the show, so it shouldn't come as a surprise that I did not click with this. What sort of takes me out of it is that it feels like a very long episode of a TV show, in that it's structured like a soap opera. There's a lot of subplots with all these characters whose names I can't keep straight, and those subplots have subplots, and the movie just doesn't stop dishing them out, and half of them are resolved almost as fast as they're introduced. The wrong characters are invested in their own plot lines, others get no development time. This is why it was a TV show, guys. I will say that when Maggie Smith is on screen, she's a lot of fun. I probably said this in my review of the last film, but it tickles me to see both Harry Potter alums Smith and Imelda Staunton sharing screen time again. And when the movie dabbles in showing how films went from the silent era to the talkies, it's a fascinating bit of insight in how that was accomplished. I imagine if you're a fan of the show, you're going to get a hell of a lot more out of it than I did. But other than that, if you haven't seen the show, get caught up or you're not going to know what the hell is going on. My honest rating for Downton Abbey, A New Era, a 3 out of 5.
You never thought to turn it down?
Do I look as if I'd turned down a villa in the south of France?
A group of young adults are on vacation and steal a pair of jet skis to have some wild fun in the middle of the ocean. Their jet skis collide and are left stranded with a hungry shark ready to kill. Had a good idea, but then it just had to try to be heightened survival horror and royally fail at it. The premise is simple and solid. Stranded on a single jet ski. Cool. So how do we screw it up? By throwing in a cheating subplot and conveniences up the dickhole. One of them is suddenly a great swimmer. Suddenly, there's a Coast Guard shipwreck as destroyed by the shark. And one of the corpses just so happens to have survival gadgets among so many others. And while the CG isn't as bad as your garden variety sci-fi channel flick, it gets pretty damn bad at some points. I give credit on 2 accounts. 1, yes, ocean water is too salty to try and rehydrate with. If you're stranded in the middle of the ocean, it's only going to make things worse for you. Good on this flick for knowing that. And 2, I appreciate the attempted brutality of the shark attacks. While not as hardcore as Deep Blue Sea, there's some solid attempts. Reminder, you have a 1 in 11.5 million chance of getting attacked by a shark and a 1 in 264.1 million chance of dying from a shark attack. Sharks hate eating humans. We're too bony. They're animals, not monsters. As for this movie, it's bad with a botched concept. My honest rating for Shark Bait, a 2 out of 5.
Where did it go?
Thanks so much for watching, you guys. I really appreciate it. Just in case you didn't know, I just started up my new Twitter account, so consider following me there. Link in the description. Have a great day. Stay safe and healthy out there. Hope to see you soon.